pediatric reflexes at 6 months. The STNR, the symmetrical tonic neck reflex, begins around 6 to 8 months and will go until 8 to 11 months. It will integrate. And whatever the cervical joints are doing causes the upper extremities and lower extremities to react. So if the neck flexes, then the upper extremities will flex and the lower extremities will extend and do the opposite. If the neck goes into extension, then the upper extremities will go into extension and the lower extremities will flex. And this happens in all the positions, and it is often felt that this is assisting crawling and creeping, that when infants begin to creep and crawl at 8 months, that if the neck goes up into extension, the upper extremity will go into extension, and if the neck goes into flexion, then all of a sudden then the upper extremity goes into flexion, and that can get some motion for some propulsion, and that's the STNR. The next one that is going to integrate at 6 months starts at birth to 6 months, and it's the startle reflex. And so the infant may hear a loud sound, woo, and have abduction of the upper extremities, followed by adduction of the scapula and the upper extremities. And that may be from a loud sound. It may be from cold touching the infant and startle them. It may also be by turning the lights on all of a sudden and having that difference of sensory environment. And so the startle reflex is very different than the Moro reflex. The upper extremities do a similar reaction, but the stimulus is very different. In the Moro, it is based on neck extension, sudden neck extension, whereas this one is based on more of lights and sounds and temperatures. Okay. Also at 6 months, you'll see an integration of the sucking reflex, that if you put a bottle, a nipple, or a finger in the infant's mouth and you touch their lips, their tongue, or their palate on the roof of their mouth, then it will result in automatic sucking. This goes away automatic by 6 months. The child can still suck, but they do it because they want to, not because something has been placed there and it's automatic. Okay. Now, there is a tonic labyrinthine response reflex that is a TLR, and if the infant is laid basically in supine, then you'll get as much extension as you're going to get, that there is a natural extension that comes with being in supine. And then in prone, the infant has a natural flexion where they just, when you place an infant in prone, they naturally have some flexion. And that no longer has a hold over them about 6 months. So however they lay is however they want to lay at about 6 months. Okay. Now, the neonatal neck riding is where if you turn the infant's head while they're in supine, then their body log rolls over to the same side. And that is true for left and right, that they will roll when you just turn their head. They'll do it as a log. At 6 months, that integrates, and then they begin to do segmental rolling. So they're non-segmental rolling like a log until about 6 months, and then they can start to just turn whatever side they want to and roll in a lot of different techniques. Also, at 6 months, you will see the integration of a placing reaction. That if you have a table and you scrape the dorsum of the infant's hand under the table, they will automatically place it. That is called a placing reaction. The same thing is true for their feet. So if the child has it scraped on the table, then they will put their foot right on top of the table, and that's a placing reaction, and it integrates at 6 months.